Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since my last video. I'm back now to talk about one of the greatest exotics in Destiny history, the Twilight Garrison. Introduced during the Taken King era of Destiny, this exotic single-handedly catapulted Titans from being lethal not just on the ground, but now in the air, being able to avoid fire with just the press of a button. This proved very useful in Destiny 1 as there was no real air movement in the game on other classes, which meant Titans ruled the sky. However, as time went on, the exotic was nerfed several times. From getting its cooldown extended to being nerfed from 2 charges to 1, Twilight Garrison has had its fair share of balancing in the Destiny 1 meta. However, there are some things to know about Twilight Garrison and what it means to the game. A couple of lore entries. I know, not overly relevant as to why it needs to be in the game, but it is important to know. Twilight Garrison's flavor text reads as follows. One day, the last city will be known as the first city. Titans are known for their fortitude and resilience to incoming attacks, and when they go into battle, they are defensive machines, ready to aid their support warlocks and aggressive hunters. However, Bungie saw Titans as being too oppressive for the rest of the classes, more specifically in PvP, so Bungie did not include it in Destiny 2. I'm about to explain to you the root of the problem with Garrison, why it needs to exist, and why it should have never been taken out of the game in the first place. Let's travel back in time for a second, to the Taken King era of Destiny 1. A bunch of exotics, which were referred to as Year 2 exotics in Destiny 1, were introduced, Twilight included. At launch, you could dodge twice in the air, moving back and forth at incredible speeds. However, let's compare Twilight to Shade Step for a second. In Year 2 of Destiny 1, hunters gained the abilities to perform a Shade Step evasive maneuver. For current Destiny 2 players, think of the Hunter Dodge class ability, but it was double use on a 3-second cooldown and was only usable in the Night Stalker subclass. Titans, on the other hand, gained an exotic chest piece that allowed them to dodge twice in the air. However, players quickly found a way to abuse this ability. Titans were already able to Titanscape using catapult lift on their subclass, but now they had a way to achieve top speed just by initiating a double button press. However, Bungie saw quickly that this would be a problem in future PvP events, so they decided to nerf Garrison in Update 2.3.0, which allowed Garrison to only dodge once after a 3-second cooldown. This nerf also coincided with the Shade Step nerf as well, which was now a 3-second cooldown and reduced to a single dodge. Understandably, the community complained when the patch was made live, but the community eventually settled on the changes. When Destiny 2 launched, however, class abilities were introduced into the game. The Hunter Shade Step was changed to a class ability for hunters. However, Titans were stripped of Twilight Garrison. The Titan community asked for years to bring the exotic back, until one day, a developer by the name of Kevin Yanis responded on his personal Twitter account that Twilight Garrison would never be returned to the game. The community was in an uproar about this. Hostile actions, even death threats were sent to many members of the Destiny development team.
Community, but when people hear about stuff like this, especially on Twitter, this is the stuff that spreads like wildfire, and it's just this is the kind of mentality that people are going to have when they think about Destiny 2 on Twitter, and that's obviously not what you want for your game. So the even crazier part to me is that this story is like narrated through these people's heads that attack the devs, that there's like one dev or person at Bungie in particular that like runs the whole show. They think there's like one person in charge of choosing what exotics are in the game, what the sandbox changes are, future DLCs. Like, that's just not how that works at all. And this is coming from someone who is very critical of the game. I've had my good takes, I've had my bad takes, trust me, because I've been blocked by devs without even saying a single word to them. Never made any personal attacks to dev. I give my honest opinions on the game. Sometimes I get a little bit heated and a little bit overboard, because I'm very passionate about the game and I love it, but there's obviously a line to be drawn, and I don't understand what is so hard about figuring out how not to cross that.
Sadly, Bungie then decided they had to go dark. I do pray for all the members that were affected by the hostile actions of the community. They should have never been targeted for believing that a decision was in the best interest of the game. However, I'm here to break that notion. Twilight Garrison is one of the most important exotics in Destiny history. Let me put it this way. Twilight Garrison's ability was taken and given to warlocks. This was added to their subclass instead of the exotic. This just added fuel to the fire as to why it was taken out. But let me also explain this. Twilight Garrison was already balanced for the environment of Destiny 2. First of all, Titans cannot shoot in midair. They lose all air movement when they do. The only class that can air evade and fire in the air are Warlocks, which requires 2 aspects to do so basically giving up 2 exotic slots. But Garrison never had this issue, since the Titan class revolves around this exotic. With the nerf to Icarus dash to every 5 seconds, this could have easily been applied to Titans. However, we are at the point where we need to all ask ourselves, why was Garrison removed? That is not my place to answer, and I will not try to find the answers. But what I will say is we need to rethink this philosophy in Destiny that every class has a ceiling they can reach. I say it's the opposite. The best way to make PvP fun is when the best player can show they're the best. Unbalanced teams make for some of the best matches, especially when you know you're amazing at the game. That might be my pride talking. Who cares? It's time to get real. The reason we love Destiny 1 as veterans is because we know how chaotic it could get across the whole game. So many hero moments, as I call them. And Garrison has given many of these. Last man standing in trials, boost over and get the res. Whole fire team died in a normal raid, Garrison over and saved them. It's the most used Titan exotic in Destiny 1 for a reason. And I didn't even bother looking it up, because we are here. And we must explain to Bungie why this conversation is important. I expect Twilight to come back in one way or another. But Bungie, please heed my words. Do not let this opportunity slip away. Flip the script. Go to your roots. Find what makes your game great. I love you, Bungie. I love the community. Stay strong, stay safe. Thanks for watching.